Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is the 20th video of a playlist for cloning a Disney Plus website using MERN tag. In this video, we are going to make the movie page for the admin user. So to do that, first we are going to the page file instead of the admin here. Page folder, and then open up our movies first in here. And here, as usually, I will just change it to the React fragment. Save. So for the movies here, we are going to make some div inside of this React fragment, and then we'll have a div with a class name equal to margin is 2, and if the width and if the device screen is empty, it will have margin 10. For the margin top is going to be 24, padding is 2, and if the device width is empty, it will have padding 10, and then background is white. For the rounded is 3XL. We will close the div here, and inside of here we will have a header. Wait a second. A header. We'll have a header that come from the component, but first in here I'm going to make the component first. Inside of the components here, I'm going to make a new file called headers.jsx, and then rough C for making a basic structure of the React file, and export it inside of this index.jsx. I'm going to put here headers. Save. And then in here, and instead of these headers, we are going to get some parameter. The first one is going to be category, and the second one is going to be the title. After this, we are going to have a div with a class name equal to margin is 10, and then instead of here we will have a p tag or paragraph with a class name equal to text is for the font size is going to be LG, but first I'm going to hide the sidebar. After that, we will have a text color is going to be gray, is 400, and then we'll have for the text is going to be category. After we have the p, and then we will have the p tag with class name equal to text is 3XL. For the font, for the font size, for the font weight is going to be extra bold, and it's going to have tracking is like. For the text color is going to be slate, and then 900. For the text is going to be the title. Let's save it and go back to the movie. In here I'm going to import headers from components. Let's save it, and it's supposed to be here, it's supposed to be header, not headers. So I'm going to change this header, and then for the index is also going to be header. Let's save and also change the file name or rename the file name. Save, and now it's supposed to be working. After we create this header, inside of these movies, we will pass the headers. We will show the header in here, but it will be a self-closing tag. For the category is going to be movie, and for the title is going to be movies. Let's save and then see what we got in here. If I click this movie, we will have the movie and the movies. But I think there was something here. Text slate. Okay. Now below of this header, we will have a grid component that's going to be not a self-closing tag. it will be grid component, control B, so there's no suggestion for that. And the grid component is come from the, I will import, and then grid component is comma, and then we'll have this grid component is come from add sync fusion is AJ is AG2 and React grids. Save. After we have the grid components, we will have the, for this grid component, we will give it some attribute equal to ID is equal to grid com, and then it will have for the data source, it will come from the state that we are going to make here. So the state is going to be new state. I'm going to import it first, control space, wait, and here I'm going to import it. We'll have a snippet. For this one is going to be movies. Wait a second. This movies is come from a context. So for now we will just going to make it as a context, so then we don't have any error. So for the data source is going to be movies. We will make the context later in this video. So after we pass the data source, we'll have allow paging, allow sorting. Then for the context menu item is going to be, wait a second. So for the context menu item is going to be some variable that we are going to create. Context menu items. Let's save it. And we can make a new variable in here called context menu items is equal to some array. So this is going to have auto fit, comma, and then auto fit all. It will have sort as scanning, and then we will have sort the scanning, and then we will have the first page, and then we will have previous page, we have the last page, and then next page. Let's save it, and here after we pass all of these attributes, I'm going to make, instead of this grid component, a columns directive from the React grid, from the sync fusion. I'm going to copy and then paste it here for the closing tag. Now instead of here, we will have instead of here, we will have, I will Alt F to verify it first. Instead of here, we will have some mapping function, movie, and then grid.map is going to have item and then the index of the mapping function. Instead of here, we will have another column directive, but this one, oh, this was not columns directive. It should be column directive, not with s, and this tag will be a self-closing tag. The first parameter or attribute that we are going to pass is the index, because when we have a mapping function, the mapping element should have the key for identifying the element. After that, we will pass the rest of the items. Here I'm going to make the movie grid for for the column grids. So movie grid is going to have here. I'm going to make cons movie grid is equal to header. For the first one is going to be header text is equal to image, and then we'll have text align equal to center, and then for the width is going to be 120. Let's save it. And after we have the header text in here, we are going to have template is equal to, this is going to be a div with a closing tag and with a comma. So this was going to be div. Instead of this div, we will have a image with a class name equal to rounded is XL, for the height is 20, for the if the device width is MD, so it will have margin left is 3. After we have this, for the source is going to be props.imt, and then for the alt is going to be order item. Let's save and see after this. So we are not just going to have the image field in here, so I'm going to make a new one here. For the field is equal to title. So if you are passing this title with a capital T, so it will not find the title, because if you are getting data from the database, it will be an lowercase field. So after we have these fields, we'll have the header text, or for the label of this field, this is going to be title, and then comma, whoops, this is supposed to be title, comma, and then we'll have the width. The width is going to be 150. For the text align is going to be center. After we have the title, we will have fields is going to be the description, and then for the header text is going to be description. For the width is also going to be 150, and for the text align is also going to be center. After we have this description, maybe I will just copy it from here, because this was quite a lot of them. So first I'm going to copy and then paste it here. After the description, we have the category. This is going to be category, and then here, after we have the category, we will have is series. For the header text is going to be is series, and then after the is series, we will have a duration is equal to duration, and then after we have the duration, we'll have the video. Now let's save. This was supposed to be video. After the video, we will have the trailer, comma, and then trailer. Here we are going to have trailer, then trailer. After we have this trailer, save. After we have this, and also in here, it's supposed to be item, not items, save. After we have this, Whoops, it's supposed to be width. I copied the wrong one. Width, it's supposed to be width. After we have this trailer, I will copy it one more time. But in here, I'm going to save it. For this last one, we are going to make it where the field is not going to be description, and for the header text is going to be actions. So actions, and also, wait a second. So this props is supposed to be not be props. It will be maybe movies. And here we are going to copy the movies. We are going to copy the movies and then paste it. And for changing these props, img. Let's save and see how it looks first. In a website here, we got image, title, description, category, is service, is series, duration, and video, and so on. Here we get the trailer also, but not for the action. So let's make the action. For the action, it's going to be, whoops, wait a second. For action, it's going to be some button here. So this was going to be the template. Oops, I still copied the wrong one here. It's supposed to be with. After the header text, we will have the template is equal to, let me see, it is right. Okay, template. I'm going to give it some comma first. And for the template, it's going to be here. I'm going to make a new div. I mean a new React fragment, and instead of this React fragment, I will have a link from the React router DOM here. For the two is movie. Whoops, it's supposed to be some attributes. 2 and then slash movie. So this movie is the path of the movie details. After we have that, we are going to pass the state. Movie ID is equal to, and then movie.id, underline ID here. And for the text is going to be added. It also going to have class name equal to background is yellow 300. For the rounded is MD. For the padding is 2. For the text is going to be white. For a margin right is going to be 3. Then edit. After this thing, we are going to have a button with a class name equal to background red is 700. For the rounded is going to be MD. And for the padding 2, for the padding is 2. For the text is white. For the margin right is 3. And it will have on click equal to on click. We will have after on click we will have wait, on click is will be handle click, and it's supposed to be just one curly brace, not two or double. Whoops. Here it's supposed to be handle click, and then after handle click, for the handle click, handle delete is supposed, and it will pass the movies underline ID params. And for the text is going to be delete. Let's save it and see how it looks. There's supposed to be nothing in here because we are not yet creating or getting the data. In here we get error for the handle delete is not defined, so I'm going to make it in here. Handle delete is going to be some arrow function. Now let's save it. I will just make it empty for now. So after we create this grid, after we make the grids, after we made the grid of the movie and then context menu items. So after we make all of this, let's make the context for this movie. I'm going to open up my sidebar here and then go to the admin. Inside of the src, I'm going to, inside of this context, I'm going to make a new folder called movie. For the first file for the movie context is going to be the API calls, but first this is supposed to be movie context, and then inside of here we will have movie reducer.js, and then after this, wait, I'm going to delete the others or close the other steps. And then after the movie reducer, we'll have movie context.js, and then we'll have movie actions.js, and then for the last one, it's going to be API calls.js. Let's save and then Control B. The first thing we are going to make is the movie reducer here. So inside of here, and because the first or the I mean for and because the first function we will make is the gets, so in the cons and then movie reducer is equal to state, and then action is going to be array functions here, and it's going to be switch and case. So for the action dot type wait, but yeah, let's first delete all of this and then go to the actions here. The first thing we are going to make is inside of this movie action is the get movie start. So cons export cons get movie start is equal to, so if the get movie start, it will return type is equal to, the type is going to be get movies and then start. I will save it and I will copy and then paste it 2 more times. The second one is going to be if the get movies is success, and then the last one if is going to be get movies failure. For this one, I'm going to change it to success, and for the failure, it's going to be failure. Let's save it. After we make the action, now it is time for us to make the reducer here. So inside of here, I will make cons movie reducer is equal to, we are going to get the state and the action. And for this one, it's going to be some arrow function that going to have switch where action dot type, and for this switch, the first case is going to be get movies start. For this get movie start, we will return the movies. Whoops, it's supposed to be a return, and then movies is equal to empty array. For the is fetching is true, so it will make a loading statement, and for the error is going to be false. After we make this get movie start, I will save and then I'll shift F to verify it, or maybe no. I will just going to copy this case 2 more times, and the second one is going to be, whoops, it's going to be success, and for the success we will return movie is equal to action.payload. For the fetching is going to be false, and then for the error is going to be true. Oops, it's supposed to be false also because this was the successful one. And now for this one, for the failure, we will return movie is equal to an empty string. Fetching is false because the loading is done, and for the error is going to be true. Let's save it, and let's make the context for this movie context. So I'm going to go to the movie context. Wait a second. For this context, we will import movie reducer, movie, then reducer. Wait, why this was now okay? So we have to export this. Export default, and then movie reducer here is an admin. Okay, for the admin we already export for each of this. Now let's go to the movie context here. We are going to import movie reducer from the movie reducer, and then we are going to import. Wait, I will not write it for now. Now below this we'll have initial state. Initial state is equal to, for the movies, for the default is going to be empty. For fetching, the default is going to be false, and for the error, the default is also going to be false. After this, we'll export cons, and then movie context is equal to create. Context is going to be initial state. So we are going to make a context with this initial state data. After we make the movie context, we are going to make the movie context provider. It's going to have children. So remember in the previous video where we are creating some context, this children is going to be, if in the index.js in admin, is going to be this app tag here, or the whole of the website. So that means we are going to wrap the whole website using this context. After we creating this function, we are going to fill it with the use reducer. First, I'm going to import it, use reducer, and also we have to import this create context here. Create context and then control space. I'm going to import it from the React, and also I will just going to import the React also to make it a little bit more complete. After we import this use reducer, we are going to use the snippet. For the use reducer, it's going to be the movie reducer. And for the second parameters, it's going to be initial state. And we are not going to have the third one. After we make this use reducer, we are going to have a return with a movie context.provider. And for the value is going to be some object here. The first one is going to be movies, and then state.movies. We'll have is fetching is going to be state.is fetching, and for the error is going to be state.error. The last one is going to be the dispatch. Let's save and then put our children in here. Children. Save. Now let's wrap this movie. Now let's wrap this index app in here with movie context provider. Movie context provider here. I'm going to end it. and I will enter and put our app in here. Save. After we wrap our app.js, I mean the app element with the movie context provider, I'm going to make the API calls in here. So the first thing we are going to have is for the exports or the get. So the first thing we are going to make is the get roots here or the get context for the movie. We are going to export cons equal to get movies equal to async and the dispatch. We are going to have dispatch and it will be some arrow functions here. Here we are going to import get movie start. After we have this, we are going to have try and catch block here. Catch is error, and then for this try catch block, I'm going to give it some space here for this try and catch block. For the try is going to be cons, rest is awaits axios dot get, so it will get the data from the movies, comma, and then we are going to pass the headers is equal to token is equal to, I'm going to the home, or maybe wait a second, let's go to the home in the page. It's not in here, so I'm going to go to the home instead of the admin here and copy the token. So I said before we will use the static token for now. After we implementing the login for the admin, we will use the token that the admin have. After we get the data here, we are going to make dispatch is get movie success and rest.data. We are going to pass the data, and if it's error, it will have dispatch and then get movies failure. Let's save it. And also in here, let me see, we already imported our axios and our move action, so that means our API calls for the get is done. We can go back to the movies.jsx in here. So for the movies in here, I'm going to change it to cons is equal to movies comma dispatch is equal to use context and then movie context. I'm going to import the movie context from the movie context. After that, I'm going to make a use effect. It is already imported yet. Okay, it is already. And then for the use effect, it's going to be some arrow function that's going to run the get movies function from the API calls, and then put the dispatch in here. For the parameters here, I'm going to pass the dispatch. Now let's save it and let's see how it looks. If we get some error here, use context is not defined, so we are forgot to import this use context here. I'm going to use control space and then enter. So control space is used for show the suggestion for the codes. If you are not blocking it, maybe it will just give you suggestion for the whole line, or maybe just the words that after the cursor. But if you block some of this, like for example use context, it will show a suggestion just for the use context. I will refresh. Here in the website, we got some blank page. Let's see in the inspect. Here, console log. We got cannot read prop of undefined image. But let's see in the network if we get our data here. Movies, unit enable, nope. In this, here we got our movies. Category kits, so that means What our error is, just instead of this movie grid, we don't have the image. We don't have the image field inside of our database. Maybe like that. I will open up my MongoDB in here to check what is the list or what field name we have. But instead of that, I will just go to the movie models in here and see our field is name img. But wait, there is some error in here. So movies, oh yeah. So for this one, let's just make a new function here. Above of this movie grid, we'll have cons. Movie image is equal to, we are going to get the props or the data, and then instead of here we will have a an arrow function, and it will return the image that we have in here. I'm going to cut the image and then change this to movie image. Tab, go to the return here, pass our image, and then change this movie to props. Let's save. Alt Shift F. After we make this movie image, we will make the cons is equal to action button. It's also going to retrieve the props parameter, and it's going to be some arrow function with the return, and then this return will have this rect fragment inside of the action or the button action here. I'm going to replace this parenthesis with the action button. Let's save it. Oh, it's supposed to be one I, not double. Save. And now let's paste our link inside of this action button. Alt Shift F to save it. Alt Shift F to verify it, and then save. Let's see how it looks in the website here. Now we didn't get some error, but also we don't get our data here. Let me see in movie reducer if there is some typo here that caused the error. Let's try to console log this movie in here. Not movie in here, we are going to console log in here. What about console.log and then the movies here? I'm going to save it and then go back to my website, refresh, and let's see for the inspect in here. And here, let's see what will we get. Here we get some empty and then undefined, so that means in one of this we have inside of our movie context we have some typo or maybe some error. Let's find it out. Okay, so let's go to the movie action in here, and below here we forgot to add the movies, so we are going to get the movies. Oh, not in the start, we are going to give it in a success. So if the get movies is success, we will give the payload equal to movies. It will be comma, not dot. Let's save it and go back to our website here, refresh the website, and see what the console we get here. We get now, let me see. Now we got the slash. I I I mean we got the two. We got these two data here. And what if we see it here? We got our image, but it is not loaded. That is okay. For the title, we got it. The description, category, series, duration, video, action, and then here I think we have to make for the action is a little bit more wider. So for the action is going to be wait a second. Action is going to be 230. So it's supposed to be, so I will make it 230, so then we can have a space for the edit and delete button. But if we refresh it and then see if now we get both of the button here, now we got the edit and delete button. So that means now our movies page is working and done. I think that's it for this video. I hope you will enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also turn on the bell notification so then you know when I update the series. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.